I have a secret to share with you. And I realize this is not the most private of forums to share secrets, with it being a public platform and all that nifna, but my secret is such that you will forget it by the time this video is over. You see, I have a superpower. 2, in fact, and together they make me pretty much unstoppable. I can erase memories and become invisible. Okay, I suppose the mundane, muggly terms for such cool abilities are not being memorable or remarkable, failing to make an impression, being super bland and forgettable, even with the longest of flowy purpley locks and the brightest of fiery red hairdos, mind you, that is some powerful power, and being quiet, like really quiet, like holding your breath as you race up 5 flights of stairs with superhuman speed and silent agility, quiet, because you just never know when that light sleeping terror lurking in the shadow under every 3rd step is gonna wake up and grab your ankles if you make too much noise. And like, not to brag, but I was born with these abilities, and I also obsessively honed them to a razor's edge of finesse over my lifetime so far. Invisibility and memory modification were so helpful as I was an introvert, shocker, surprise, yada yada, I know, who never ever wanted to make a scene or, God forbid, be noticed in a room. One of my worst fears was walking into a space that was silent but full of people and them simultaneously horror film style snapping their heads to judge me walking into the room. Late, of course, which I try to avoid at all costs, and most likely looking stupid and lost. Because I'm that important. Yeah, right, whatever. But thankfully, that situation has not yet happened, as these abilities have allowed me to blend in, observe a situation fully before jumping in and acting a fool, and note and memorize countless details about crazy amounts of strangers in the blink of an eye. These powers are both a blessing and a curse. And if you also have these abilities, you probably kind of have an inkling where I'm going with this. Now, if I were the trickster type, these abilities would aid in oh so many delicious pranks and plots that I just don't have the confidence or wherewithal to pull off in real life. Not yet, anyway. We'll see. Maybe one day we'll get there. I'm thinking so, because I'm gonna tell you the tales of some superpowers gone awry. These stories could use some vigilante justice. Kinda maybe just low-key justice, nothing too drastic after all. Gotta keep my powers on the DL. Also, I don't wanna be a jerk. As helpful as being able to silently vanish into thin air in public is, there is such a thing as being too invisible. You can also be way too good at erasing memories. See Exhibits A and B. Exhibit A, where we examine full-on invisibility. A ghost story, if you will. The location. A big old convention with a freak ton of human beings. You would think, well, Frank, of course it's easy to be invisible in a crowd with trillions of people. This is not special. Yep, you are, of course, correct. So I'm gonna drill down into an even more specific scenario. Small group of people at a big old convention. Small group focused on a singular topic of conversation that I am an expert level in at a convention and nerding out about it. Small group of, let's say, 5, including me and any male friend of mine. So really, 3 strangers, me, and a friend. Now this happens every time, so I know it's not a fluke. Before the small group starts talking, introductions happen. One by one, everyone says their name and shakes everyone else's hand. Except mine. I used to sheepishly and now forcefully stick my hand out and expect a handshake. Same result. No name shared, no hand shook. I am invisible. I'm a subject matter expert, but I could literally be ghostly chopped liver for all intents and purposes. I've tried initiating the intros with some success, but the receivers of the handshake do not, however, say their names in return, or make eye contact, and you know how important that is, or shake back. It's like I'm a freaking ghost with them being like, do I put my hand here? Will the ghost be able to tell where it is? I don't know where the ghost is, so I'll just look around at the ground or up and to the right. That should be good. God, I wish the ghost would just go away. I don't want to touch the cootie ghost, so I'll just stand here with my hand out like a dead fish. Same thing happens even when the friend introduces me. Now you're probably thinking, well, you just gotta be more forceful, see? More assertive. I am a textbook warm, take up space handshake. Except for when my hands are cold, but I mean business regardless. And I'm totally judging others by their handshake, just saying. It's important. So is hand sanitizer. Anyway, with introductions over or overlooked, talking begins. I'm ignored. Were we really expecting anything different? Oh, I'll talk, but I'm talked over. I'm even using my outside voice, which is like normal people's regular voice. No matter, ghostly whispers are very easy to ignore, it seems. After years of this happening, I've of course become more assertive, see? And confidently take the floor. Cool, and a story. But I'm invisible, remember? So I talk, making eye contact with everybody else's eye sockets because their eyes are just not there, or they're there but looking anywhere but at me. I know they're still thinking, if I ignore the ghost, it will just leave me be. My dude, I am right here, saying words into your eyes, into your soul, answering your questions. Just acknowledge me, please, for the love of fudge. Also, no one says anything in response to the ghost. My friend starts talking, says the same thing I just said, and zoop! Magically, everyone has eyes again. There's the eye contact, rapt attention on the corporeal friend, and back and forth conversation too. No time or attention for the invisible ghost lady. There is, of course, a lot going on under the surface here, but I found something that helps to flip the situation on its head. If there's another quiet, invisible person in the group being talked over or interrupted, I'll go out of my way to engage them in the conversation and ask them questions that I won't to the loud, boisterous folks. Invisible people can see other invisible people after all, and oh dang, do we have a lot to say. And we have our own universal quiet people code and language that most other people won't understand. Moving on to Exhibit B, where we dissect the powerfully potent combination of mind erasure and invisibility. I go to a lot of conferences where I meet the same people year after year. I know their names, what they do, how their last year went. I am such a good human being, TM. Every year I greet them and do the small talk thing that I love. Every year we grab dinners and lunches with the same groups. Every year I reintroduce myself to them. Every freaking year. You'd think they'd think, oh hey, yeah, for sure I remember you, even if I don't remember your name. You greeted an entire group of people you didn't know by raising the roof that one time. How silly and unforgettable and embarrassing for you. You had the crazy hair. I literally comment on your tattoo every year. We're doing the same thing we did for the last few years. We have the same friends. You remember me. Even if I don't know your name, I know you. Nice to see you again. Let's refresh and catch up. Nope. The subject will just acknowledge every other person standing in the group, greeting, catching up, talking over, around, and through me. Because I'm sure it's so embarrassing for them to ask for a name, they opt instead to ignore a freaking human being. In this scenario, mind erasure is up first. Then, when the subject can't place me, the invisibility power activates. These processes have been on autopilot for me for years, so grinding those gears to a halt is gonna take some practice. And actual willing subjects? At one conference in particular, the subject and I have been in attendance for many years. We even worked together at a different one before then. Now, I'm not telling this story for shaming or pity or anything like that, but rather to paint a picture of how far these powers have evolved. Or how some people just aren't worth the time, it turns out. Anyway, every year I'd walk up to them and say, hey, nice to see you, it's me. We worked together at that place. How is the conference going for you this year? Every year they would reply with, oh, hey, yeah, now I remember you, nice to see you. Sorry, it's been a busy year, I'm forgetful. How are your projects going? Etc. Granted, they replied well enough, but it did take some subtle, not so subtle, memory planting and rewriting on my part to make sure we both didn't look like fools. Because that would just be the worst, looking like fools. After the could probably have been more awkward, but we're okay intro, we'll hang out with mutual friends all conference, eat the meals together, do the events. Cool, I think. I won't have to flip and remind them who I am next year. I won't have to feel like a blank wall ever again, and I don't have to waste yet another business card on them. Sweet! See you next year! Yeah, no. Rinse and repeat every year, and it sucks. Being invisible, forgotten, not important enough to give a care to. It brings up all the feels. This last time, however, things were just flippin' different. I was done. I realized I honestly couldn't give all the foxes in the world what they thought, or remembered, or didn't. I was free! I ignored them the entire conference. Well, that's not to say I didn't talk to them, but I did so knowing full well that they didn't know who I was, and I was not gonna tell them and waste my precious mind remapping skills on them yet again. I could tap into my invisibility and vanish into smoke mid-conversation and not care at all, because memory wipe small talk is a chore. I could pretend I was a clairvoyant witch and tell them random details from their lives as offhanded comments. Super cryptic, dare I say, memorable? Nope, keep wishing. But it was way more fun than caring what some random would not be but is stranger's opinion is. Really wish I had discovered this mischievous use of superpowers before, but I guess I needed all those years of observation and research to make it work. It's a long game after all, and well played, I think. And we're only just beginning. So, with this scientific delve into powers evolving past their usefulness and then into the fun prankster territory, I have learned, oh Oh, so many great things. Mainly, not everybody remembers everybody. Heck, not everybody even has to like everybody. And you know what? That's just roses. I don't have to remind people who I'm indifferent or lukewarm about of my existence. I'd much rather spend that energy and over-analysis on people who I like and who like me. At least I think they do. Oh god, oh brain! I finally learned how to extrovert my introverted superpowers, and oh boy howdy, are we just getting started. It's fun, it's unexpected, it's a rush that my inner roller coaster junkie just can't get enough of. Oh no, am I becoming a jerk? Woof, that was a lot about my superpowers, but what are some of yours? Are you a psychic who can sense what's about to happen just before it does? Do you see people's emotions as colors? Can you fly? Are you in tune with the other side? Let's talk about it in the comments below. And to all my fellow invisible people, I see you. Thanks for stopping by to check out this odd little animation about curious powers. It really does mean the world. Also, hey, guess what? I've been posting videos here for a whole freaking year now. Happy birthday! Okay, on to the next animation. Hope to see you soon. Bye!